attend the durus, bring your notepads and bring your pens, study the books, go through the books, gather your wealth together, travel to the scholars, go to the dawrat al-ilmiya in the lands of Islam, Mecca and Medina and Riyadh. And this is the way that you gain ilm, in the olden way. That has not changed till now. Name me an alim today who studied off the internet. You name one? You can't name one. Name any student of knowledge worth his salt that he ever studied anything by way of Twitter and Facebook. All of them, they sat. Ulama, they sat. They sat with Sheikh bin Baz, they sat with Ibn Uthaymeen, they sat with Sheikh Muqbil, they sat with Sheikh Zayd al-Madkhali, Ahmed al-Najmi, Rabi al-Madkhali, Fawzan. They sat with Sheikh al-Luhaydan, Abdul-Waahid. They sat at their feet for years. For years. Even our brothers who are in the United Kingdom, they come back and they relay stories. Like Abu Hakim, he will say that I sat with Sheikh Ubaid for 3 years studying one book, going to him twice a week for one book for 3 years, 4 years. Abu Idris will say that I travelled all the way to Samita to sit with Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi and read to him Qawaid al-Arba and Usul al-Thalatha, and then he would ask me and I would answer. This is the way, this is the olden way. Travelling to the scholars and sitting with them. Not by saying, I read it on Twitter. Where's your source? Twitter. That's the masdar of your ilm. This is not the way, barakallahu feekum. You know this, I can't read more than 3 lines without my brain overloading. It means that you haven't trained yourself. You know, this is soundbite era that we are living in. And this is not what you should have. And you know, even you see now, a person has no ilm, no knowledge, no da'wah at all. Where is he known? In cyberspace. That's the only place. Ya akhi, if you ask him, Ya akhi, where's your da'wah? Where's your markaz? He goes, I don't have one. Where you live? I live in such and such a place. Where's your da'wah? Do you give da'wah? No. Do you have any ilm? No, I don't teach. So how did you get 15,000 followers on Twitter? How did you manage that? And you have no ilm, you never studied. Why? How did you do it? Why? Because you know how to manipulate social media. And all they're waiting for is just to get more and more hits on their website and more hits on their Facebook and Twitter. Ulama are not like this. You go to Sheikh Rabi now. Sheikh Rabi's got papers in his hand and he will speak to you regarding them. He will teach Muqaddimah of Sahih Muslim when we were there last to a crowd of over 1,000 people in Masjid Ridwan in Medina. You go to Sheikh Ubaid. Sheikh Ubaid is ill now, but even when he was teaching in Masjid Ridwan, the masjid packed right to the back. Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, durus in his local masjid, durus in Masjid Ridwan, khutub. After Salatul Jum'ah, Sheikh Ubaid sits and answers questions. This is the old way of learning and studying. In Birmingham, we haven't changed that. We follow from that. In Birmingham, we have over 20 durus a week. 20. A person says, when's your next conference? They don't worry about the conference. Just come. Spend a week there. You'll sit in 20 durus. In a week, you'll sit. Abu Hakim teaches Tafsir ibn Kathir. Umdatul Ahkam. He started Rahbiya in the laws of inheritance. Mustalah Hadith. Ilmul Rijal. That's just Abu Hakim. Right? And Nawi's 40 Hadith. That's just Abu Seerah of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Seeratul Rasul. Right? Then you have Abu Idris, Hafidhullah, the importance of seeking ilm and the excellence of knowledge. And Qawaidul Arba, Usul Sitta, some of the books that he's taught and teaching still. Right? And that's just the beginning. Then we have other brothers who are teaching. Myself. Introductions to Sharh al-Sunnah Barbahari, Bulugh al-Maram, Sheikh al-Fawzan, explanation, Sharh. Kitab al-Nikah, Kitab al-Talaq. Right? Kitab al-Siyam, Kitab al-Zakah. Books like Kitab al-Tawheed. Right? Aqidat al-Raziyain with the explanation of Sheikh Rabi'. This is the old way of teaching. Our brother Abu Iyad, likewise in the north of England, about 3 hours or 2 hours away from us, teaching books. Our brother Mu'adh, Abu Mu'adh, Taqweem, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, Bulugh al-Maram, Seeratul Rasul. Books that they're teaching. Basics of Ilm al-Hadith, Bayquniyah and so on. Then in London we have brother Abu Umar, Farooq, Hafidhahullah, who was in Medina University. Uwais Tawil when he's here, not in Medina, teaching books. The old way. Because this builds. You want to build men, you want to build a community, this is how you build. That's why when we speak about the Hizbiyun, bring your Hizbi and let's bring an average student from our durus. Let's see. Because we build and we cultivate, walillahi alhamd. And then people say, oh, your da'wah is limited. What da'wah limited? 4.5, what do you think? When we started da'wah in Birmingham, back in when it was in its infancy, 1993 and 94, even though there were Salafis in Birmingham even before that, late 80s and so on. But when it really started picking up, 93, 94, especially 95, we only had about 7 people? I started a circle reading Abu Talha's translations, rahimahullahu ta'ala. I should take the translations from him and read. I read it to the people, 3 people, 4 people. Now some of the durus, there's 200 people, 300 people. You can't even fill conferences in some cities like that. And they say what? People don't have the patience with durus. They have the patience, but it has to be trained within them. They have to be trained with it. You know, every time we go to the masjid, walillahi alhamd, the brothers will come. They'll give you salam. They say, Ya akhi, what book do you recommend? Go to the bookstore, buy this book, buy that. And they're buying books, filling their libraries, which is another sunnah that is lost. The ulama, their libraries are filled with kutub and makhtutat. What do you have? I've got it all in here. Where do you have it? It's on Facebook. Come on, ya ikhwan. This is a joke. That's what this is. If you think this is where ilm is, that's a joke. The best you can get out of this is a live broadcast from our brothers at Mirath Radio. When they broadcast to you some of the durus of the Tulab al-Ilm, like Sheikh Arafat al-Muhammadi or Muhammad Ghalib, right, those younger mashayikh, or Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari from the ulama of Medina, or Sheikh Ubaid or Sheikh Rabi, then it's good. Other than that, just tapping this all day, tapping it. I mean, we all fall into it. I'm no different. Right? But don't lose your focus. Where's your anchor? You know, you have to have anchors in life. Where's your anchor? The anchor is in the dars. That's where knowledge is sought. If there's no durus in your city or in your locality, then you tune in. All of the durus from Birmingham are transmitted. All of Abdul-Ilah's durus. Mirath Radio now is transmitting. We are doing durus for Mirath Radio. Our brothers in Jeddah, Ta'awanu ala al-birri wa taqwa. Our brother Khalid Baqais, Abu Ziyad. He invited, last time we went, he sat with us. And he said, brothers, I want to use Mirath Radio and broadcast your durus. Will you give durus to us, khas for us? So I said, alhamdulillah, why not? So he said, choose a book. I chose Usul Sunnah of Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi. Abu Yad started a book. Abu Hassan al-Somali started a book. So even on Mirath, throughout the day and throughout the night, there's durus. So you may not have a Salafi radio from Birmingham. SalafiRadio.com from Birmingham, all of the durus from Birmingham broadcast live.